right, we're back on the channel. It's time to play some more Legacy. Last week we had the Mirror week, and this week is going to be the Tundra week. So I'm going to be casting a bunch of Swords to Plowshares this week, bunch of blue cards, and yeah, let's get into things. This is Jeskai Wizard, a deck that I really, really like. I think this deck has a ton of tools to be competitive against a wide spread of Legacy decks. Its payoff for being wizards is Flame of Anor, very flexible cards, outdraw your opponent, kill artifacts, deal 5 to a creature. So now since our deck want to draw cards, Orcish Bowmasters is a little bit of a threat, and with that card seeing heavy play at the top tables, I've done a little bit of switcheroo in the interaction suite. I'm running 1/1 Stern Scolding. This card has, when you have good timing, this card is very good against Bowmasters, good against Tamiyo, good against various creatures, Philia, Raptor, Ajani, White Reliquary, stuff like that. So I think this card is pretty good, but it does come with a little bit of a cost because we also want to cast sorcery speed stuff. And yeah, let's just see how it plays out. Of course, we're a Tamiyo deck. We play Trainers. Trainer, pretty good card to buy time, grind a little bit. The white removal spells are good as always. Rock solid mana base. Let's see how that plays out because, with one of each duel, we sometimes have to get. Wasteland could be crippling. I love the closing power of Triple Murktide. This deck started as like 1/4 Eolingas, no other actual win cons, and then I just gradually found out that slamming a 5/5 or 6/6 or, even in the 8/8, of course, and closing out the game had a lot of value. Dress Down, a card I want to talk a little bit about. It's basically our deck is somewhat weak to Urza's Saga. It does good things about, against opposing Goyfs or Murktides or opponents trying to flip Tamiyo and what have you. I just consider this a good price to pay to not be a Wasteland deck. Then you have to play a couple of Dress Downs. Single Snapcaster here for old time's sake. But no, but to be serious, this is actually a pretty good Snapcaster deck between all the plows, the 1-mana counters, and then the sideboard configuration. So I like Sweepers, I like Graveyard Hate, I have a little bit of anti-non-basics. Let's see how Magus performs. It is a wizard. Bunch of blasts, and then a little bit of combo coverage with the third negation. Second, Stern Scolding, as I talked about, mainly because the Orcish Bowmasters is a magic card. And then a single Hydroblast with Mono Red Prison, Cutter, Hexing Squelcher, all of those things combined. So yeah, I'm basically playing this deck today to see if this deck still got it. By the way, the Magus, these are good against Beanstalk, which is a bad matchup. So let's imagine I play against 4-color Beanstalk and I can make them play, Mono Red Beanstalk. I would want that. So Magus of the Moon is trying to shore up the Beans matchup mainly because I would actually love to play against lands every round with this deck. But yeah, enough talk. Let's see if we can get some great games like usual, I would say. All right, let's play some Magic here. 7 spells, not going to cut it. This is a lot better. So we have a plan of Tamiyo, flip Tamiyo, protect Tamiyo. So I guess I should get rid of Flame of Anor here for 2 reasons. Well, I can't cast it. Second of all, if I play turn 1 Tamiyo and I get Thought Seized, my opponent can now not get me off of Brainstorm. So let's do that. Put back that. Opponent's also on a mulligan. We do welcome that. I do like games on even footing. 7 versus 7 is the most fun. I guess as long as we have the same amount of cards, it's awesome. So a play you can make here that I should have considered before, but I mean, better late than never, is to play the Tundra turn 1 because you actively want to get wasted when you're flipping your Tamiyo. That's not bad. This also has its advantages, of course. Okay. So I'm thinking this is some kind of reanimator strategy that wants to get to cleanup. Or it's like an Upsal Spells deck that is like 1 mana source away from cooking me with backup. Either way, we're flipping the Tamiyo here. Okay. These cards are not bad. So Flame of Anor, probably a bad card, but that could just be my Force of Will pitch. So let's see. If we put back Flame of Anor, Tundra, and then we dig for the next Force with preordain. I think that's how I'm supposed to play. 7 up, go to 7 past the turn is a little bit concerning. At this point, I'm not scared of Wasteland. What do I think is more realistic that I'm going to need? The white removal stuff or the Flame of Anor this game? Maybe it's red. I'll actually go red here. Okay. Volcanic Island, Preordain, look hard for Force of Will or Force of Negation. Bottom both lands. Hit the Force of Will. Very awesome. I mean, now I have a plan, and I think I'm playing against Oops All Spells or Reanimator. Okay. So here's the land. The opponent shocks, so I guess here's the fireworks. Now, let's think about this. The opponent played the land because of Daze. They pitched the Thoughtseize. If they just beat me with the nuts here, I think I just have to say congratulations. So let's let this happen. If they can power through an additional force here, they're the greatest ever. But if they can't, this game goes on and I can like recur blue cards and I'm in good shape. So also they could have Thoughtseized here but didn't. So their hand is probably okay, they slow down here. Their hand is probably like Ritual, Spirit Guide combo piece. 2 unknowns, right? Thundertrap Trainer is a card that lets me tick up Tameo because I still have double force here. So I should probably hold up the dress down. Yeah, let's get closer to the Promised Land here. Because the dress down is also a Time Walk card in this spot. Nothing happens, I crack the clue. If there's fireworks, I have double force. Okay, the opponent's had enough here. So, very important lesson here, that if your opponent does nothing, like mulligans to 6 and does nothing, you know, you should start thinking about those exact decks and then make your decisions with your cantrips as hard as you can towards a certain goal. So, Oops All Spells. So let's try and see how our sideboard looks at, let's say, level 1. Level 1 is we are supposed to prevent combos from happening. So we bring out all the white cards. We bring in all the blue cards and surgical. Let's see if there's any, because, you know, Stern Scolding actually hard counters the creature. So now this also counters something like Voidwalker. If they have Voidwalker, I still have 4 Flame of Anor, which is solid. So I think I can even go as far as going -1 more planes for the first Pyroblast. I don't think adding 2 Pyroblasts here is bad. I actually think it's very strong. So now, are we willing to go down a blue card? Because we do have a gazillion blue card if we sideboard like this. So maybe it's fine to cut a blue card, like the worst one. It's like 22, 30, 35, 39. That's crazy. 39 blue cards. I think I talked myself into, yes, I do want, because of Pact, I do want a second Pyro. But which card is worse? Which card is worse? It's probably just good old Flame of Anor. Yeah, let's cut a flame. But let's see we learn about, like, Baragoyf or Voidwalker or Regisaur and what have you. Then we have to, you know, rethink our strategy for game 3. That's part of why Oops is a pretty sweet deck, that you can put your opponent in a pinch like that. All right. We have the Force of Will, which makes us survive against 92% of their hands. I believe that deck is 8% to have turn 1 with backup. I read that somewhere. I don't know if it's only the pack backup or it's also, you know, unmask and what have you, but or like double Ritual Thoughtseize. But we're just gonna fake tank here for a little bit. Essentially, if you play in paper, you see your Force Will, you know you're keeping your hand, right? So now there's no reason to be super excited. You should let your opponent sweat a little bit, and you should be like, this is... Yeah, I guess. Well, if you have the turn 1 kill, you have it. Like, I actively want my opponent to go Ritual Spirit Guide combo piece and lose the war, right? So here's Unmask, and if the opponent has the 8%er, that's just how it goes, right? I would assume since they go for it now. Otherwise, they could have slow rolled the unmask. Oh, they are on the Voidwalker plan, I think. Naughty Voidwalker. Sure. So now, hold up consign or get Tamiyo going. I think I'm supposed to get Tamiyo going here. So, worth noting is, with Voidwalker in play, I don't have access to my graveyard. Unless I spike Dress Down at some point. So, they have perfect info. I can yield through the turn. Hopefully this is just a discard spell. So this will probably name Thundertrap Trainer. Which is annoying, I'm not going to lie, but what are you going to do? This is going to be a race between, can I find Flame of Anor before I'm dead? Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. Dead card. Attack. So also we see the swamp here, so the opponent's on a full, even the initiative pivot. Okay, so this is going to be a fun dynamic. If I lose this game, I'll have to really consider my move. So here I should fetch basic mountain, draw Vista. I mean, that's fine for later. Third consign, that's funny. I think I'm supposed to crack a clue now if I find what? If I find exactly Preordain? Yeah, sure. I don't. Okay. So none of these cards in my hand matter, but if I find Flame of Anor, it does matter. Okay, here's Unmask. Maybe I should pierce that card to conceal information. I think that's free, right? Pierce, if the opponent has a spirit guide or a ritual, I mean, then they can pay and then they see this hand. That would be fine. Here's the ritual or spirit guide, yeah. Yeah, here's the spirit guide. So the opponent figures it's worth it. Basically, they're all in here. If I find the flame, I'm winning this game. But I only have 3. So what would be fun justice is if I draw the Pyroblast. That would be very, very fun justice. Surgical Extraction. Nice draw. All right, here's Tamiyo. So now I have to consider, is it better for me to try and flip Tamiyo at some point? I don't think so. I think the clues are my path here. So I crack it because I play, well, now I hit that card. So this will slow down the beatdown. Okay. I'm going to cast this Brainstorm. I'm not going to find the Flame of Anor. So Surgical is not doing anything. I need to hide the Preordain from a random discard spell. Oh, wait, can I play it now? Let's see. Yeah, I think yeah, okay, I can play it now. So put back my 2 worst cards. I think that is pretty clear. Clearly going to be Murktide Surgical. The Tamiyo gets flipped. I plus the Tamiyo. This is like a little bit of a buffer. It's actually better than I gave it credit for. So now let's preordain away those 2 cards. Bottom, bottom. I haven't found the flame just yet. Let's see. Voidwalker. I mean, pick your poison. The thing is, the Tamiyo is going to probably erase. The opponent is willing to engage in that race. Okay. First negation. Nice draw. Let's go to 6 here. Yeah, I mean, I like this. I think I'm racing here, but let's see. Let us see what this is, opponent. This is a Thoughtseize. Can I allow this to happen? I feel like I should force a negation here. Force a negation. I don't think the 2 life's going to matter. This is a really cool game. The opponent can attack me to 5. Then they can attack me to 3 next turn. Not going to shuffle. I have some bad cards in the bottom of my deck. Also, I think I have... Yeah, this is too funny. I think I have 0 white cards in my deck. So, Tamio goes to 8. Pass. So, I think my opponent is right now banking that I have exactly 0 answers to Voidwalker in my deck. So, a little bit of a tank here. This is going to resolve. They could name Consigned to Memory. What do they have out here? I mean, they have to attack Tamio now, otherwise I'm going to be drawing almost 20 cards. Let's see if this Stern Scolding is going to do anything. This is a pretty cool game, I must say. Lots of stuff going on, and they actually went into the plan B. Okay, they named Consigned to Memory. That's double Consigned to Memory. They now learn about Stern Scolding. I think the Tamio is going to get attacked here. So now the opponent is kind of reaching the, let's say, parity here, right? +2, -2. Yeah, so we could sit here for a while. If I draw a land, yeah, draw the Pyroblast. That's cool. I like it. If I draw a land, I can play Murktide, but I'm 1 short here. I guess it's not a bad position to be in, that drawing a land, it makes me able to cast my Murktide. Also worth noting, the consigns were coverage for the initiative. But now, no such luck. Let's see. Can we draw the card that gets us out of this jam? I cannot, but here's a Tamio that will now start digging deeper with the clue every turn. Let's see what this is. This is a Thoughtseize, so that's fine. I don't have any super useful cards in hand. Ooh, wait a minute. The opponent could kill my Tamio here with Voidwalker if they want to. Take Pyroblast. They don't go for that. They get rid of the Murktide, so my land is not a good draw. Okay, well, time to draw the Flame of Anor. Snapcaster Mage. I mean, it is some kind of a clock. Let's attack with Tamio and crack the clue right away. I could find, you know, sorcery speed like Trainer. With the Pyroblast. Yeah, let's keep this, whatever you want to call it, stalemate. But if the opponent finds mana to go, like, initiative stuff, yeah, like this, I could be in trouble. Dark Ritual. Yep, that works. Have I been flying too close to the sun? Baragoyf. Cannot counter that card with Stern Scolding. Okay. Well, down to 6. Snapcaster does not make any sense here, I think. Or does it? But the Snapcaster is then my chum blocker. If I play that out now, with the sole purpose of just having a creature in play, I can attack with Tamio, draw. Maybe that is going to help me mana-wise. Okay, let's play this card out. Let's see how that strategy works out for me. Here's Plateau. So, attack. Let's crack Clue. Here's a trainer, so at least the plan is working out in a decent fashion here. So the problem with the trainer now is the opponent has access to Cabal Therapy out of the graveyard to clear the card I find. That's a little bit of an issue. Okay, I have a plan. I'm gonna keep doing this, and the next turn I'm gonna maybe double trainer. I'm not sure. Magic is very hard. Now the opponent will come in with a double attack. I will chum block. Then next turn I put 2 creatures. So I guess that's good. Let's see. The opponent's scared of double Snapcaster block here. They're not. So, oh, this attacks me. I don't think I should allow that, to be honest. MTGO goes to 6. Let's hope they don't pick up the, like, keep up the gas here. Okay, they don't. That's good. Yeah, I just take the turn. Force Negation is a card that at least covers the first therapy, so that's good for me. I should go to 4 and play a trainer. Guess it's fine to find a duel here. Yeah. All right, big trainer. What can we do? Now it's going to be very easy for the opponent to name Flame of Anor, but I think it's worth digging a million cards deep here. Flame of Anor, boom. Second, Force of Will, boom. Okay, very, very nice. So now I could even return another force, but I think I'm good with Force of Negation. So let's keep up this. I think it's fine to attack with the Tameo. All right, you're up, opponent. I have double force. I have the flame. Cannot let this happen. Let's see what this actually is. A Baragoyf, I guess. 4 mana, sheesh. Okay, well, let us counter that. Oh, I actually thought this was the 3/3. So Stern Scolding is even better than I thought. That's interesting. So it looks like the opponent is... Nope, they're not going to force that through. Because then they lose to the Tameo, I guess. So now it's basically Baragoyf versus... Yeah, everything over here. Because Voidwalker's going to die. I'm going to draw 2. Yeah, this game is over. I agree with the opponent. That was a cool climb, and I ended up drawing both of my Pyroblast before finding the flame, so I didn't pounce on my, you know, sideboard. I don't know what you want to call it, like instinct. Maybe the tiebreaker should have been on the draw. Pyroblast is going to help me less often than on the play, so I should, you know, hedge for the creatures, but yeah, I'm not too sure. This was pretty high level. Yeah, I love playing against Oops. It's oftentimes whether you can solve the puzzle or not, right? And play in a smart way, cover angles, check boxes, and then sometimes when it's in the dirt here, you win on turn 12, and sometimes you lose easily, well, way before. So yeah, cool start to the video. Let's keep it up. Guys, the first Eco Championship qualifier is here. February 7th is where it's going to go down. It's going to be 7 a.m. Pacific. It's going to be 1600 hours CET, depending on where you are in the world, of course. And we're going to be playing Legacy for a bunch of treasure chests, but also we're going to be playing for a slot in the yearly finals at the end of the year, as you can see on this graphic. So become a member over on Metafy or send me a message and go grab your guest ticket. I can't wait to see you there. All right, Jeskai Wizards, Tundra Week. Let's see what we can do. This hand looks cool. I'm thinking about Basic Island here, I must say. I think that's smart to kind of ensure the turn 2 trainer when we know more about our opponent's deck. Casting turn 1 Preordain is not free in the sense that we're going to be making moves that are not educated, essentially. I think that's okay. An example of a card that would be hard to evaluate here is like the second force or the second plow. Okay, but third land trainer I think is awesome. So maybe hide the trainer in case I get thought seized. I don't necessarily want my opponent to know about me having a second. And this land is just fine, right? It lets me cast Flame of Anor down the road. All right, let's see what we're up against. Give me your tempo. Give me your tempo, probably. So now I'm going to make less priorities to, you know, counter magic, more priorities to bread and butter stuff. So let's cast a trainer. I'm not going to fight over it, but I do like resolving it. Take brainstorm, pass. So let's see what kind of version they're on. I mean, it could be, you know, a show and tell deck. Like, they wouldn't be crazy. It's Unmarked Grave, so it's Reanimator. That is sick. So this is going to get Archon. If I force now, I can get Dazed. If I don't force now, the creature's in the graveyard forever. Let me force a will pitch trainer here. Okay, I was very, very happy with that exchange. Reanimator, that is scary. So let's attack with this trainer. I basically pitched my trainer there because if I won that counter war, I would be very happy. But if I lost it, I wanted the most, you know, mana efficient ways to keep the train moving. Let's try with a brainstorm here. My mana is a little bit bad, but, you know, finding cards like this makes it well worth it. Now I can develop a Tamiyo, hold up Plow. That's solid. What if I get rid of 2 lands, fetch Volcanic? Is my meta base safe against that deck? I think I should assume that it's safe. If my opponent spends time wastelanding me, hopefully that's like a net gain for me, right? All right. This deck doesn't put on a ton of pressure when I don't draw Murktide, but Tamiyo is kind of pressure. Also, if my opponent is registering Unmarked Grave, I don't think they have a million, you know, Bowmasters and what have you. Here's Thoughtseize, a card. I don't mind. My hand is pretty red. Oh, they Thoughtseize themselves. Never mind. Wait a minute. So now, what is the opponent going to name here? Instance, I bet. So now I cannot cast Instance on my opponent's stuff. Okay. That is, yeah, that happened. So now what's my out to get out of this game? It's probably finding... My opponent's also at 9, so I guess there's something. So Murktide Regent is awesome. What's the other card I'm thinking about here? Yeah, I guess I'll just be looking for Murktide here. I mean, Tamiyo is a chump blocker. Here's Dress Down. That was the card I was thinking about, but couldn't find it. Okay. So now what? If I Dress Down Plow this, I should probably do that right now. If I Dress Down Plow, what if I get forced? What if I get forced? Am I supposed to hedge against getting forced, or am I supposed to maximize this resolving? The way I maximize is attacking with Tamiyo first. Then if that fails, I kind of lose the game. If I do it now, draw a card, I'll miss out on a clue, but I think I will like the outcome a lot. So, okay, I'm going to play the, let's call it the scared way here. Draw. Source of Plowshares. That happened. So now, if I believed this would resolve every time, I missed out on a clue. Nice attack, by the way. But if I wanted to hedge a little bit, I make this order of play, because if I get forced, you know, my opponent can eat a creature and things might not be so good. All right, Tamiyo versus Tamiyo. I'm ahead on mana, so that's good. Okay, the opponent flips Tamiyo. So let's think. Flip Tamiyo, I have 2 Prismatic Endings in my deck. And I have Murktide Regent. But yeah, Flip Tamiyo is pretty potent out of that deck. Nice Plow. I can flip my own Tameo here. I think that's pretty decent. I'm in the market for seeing some new cards with Brainstorm here. Because if it's Murktide, I want to put on pressure. If it's Prismatic Ending, I just want to kill it right away. It's not Prismatic Ending. Let's put back these with the intention of fetching Plateau, maybe. I'm actually going to play Land Pass here because I feel like Hardcast Negation is not out of the realm. Let's see what the opponent goes for. If they invest into the plus or how they play this. Tameo is a scary card, but I do have triple Murktide, double... Ooh. Ooh. Maybe I let this happen so I can use my mana on activating Clue. The opponent learns a lot about my layer of defense here. Also, my opponent's Tameo is faster than mine, so I'm not winning that race. So I'm probably minusing Tameo, but let's see about that. Let's crack a fetch, because I have a bad card on top. Let's find another blue source, because, you know, I am searching for Murktide Regent. Crack. Flame of Anor. Yeah, I mean, normally, crazy good draw, but this Tameo certainly complicates things. Let us return Preordain and cast it. So this sees 3 new cards. Flame sees... Ooh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Flame sees fewer cards. So, great draw. So, the opponent needs Force of Will right now. They do. So, I guess I should flame in response, because if I find Force of Will, I want to, you know, interact here, essentially. Tough game. Tough game. And now I'm losing to the Tameo. The Murktide is too late. Everything is bad. Dang. And I minus the Tameo to even get to that spot. Lots of stuff to consider here. It looks like the opponent has escaped. So now I need to draw one of my 2 endings or a Snapcaster to not be cooked. Well played by the opponent. Very well played. Because this game was not really winnable until, you know, they insta-flipped the Tameo. I actually thought that was not a problem at all, but they really did a good job. Now the question is, am I going to fight somebody drawing a million cards? Or should I pack it in? One, two, three, 4, 5 is all good. Play Murktide Regent. So the only reason I'm playing this out is I have exactly 10 damage on the board with Murktide growing from -3 Tameo. But yeah, this is some brutal stuff. Brutal stuff. Cool to see a take on Dimir Reanimator. How could I have played this game? The moment I found the ending, I just don't think slow rolling makes any sense. Because I didn't have protection, right? The opponent was not going to fight over anything other than stuff that killed that card. The only other thing I could have done was casting Flame of Anor first, because if I hit exactly Murktide Regent, I could start with Murktide. That play is very strong for the opponent. So that would have been a consideration. Because then if I find the Murktide, they have to force that, then the ending resolves. Yeah, okay. That's probably the only move I consider here. The opponent has 23 cards in hand. I will attack the Tameo dead. Nice land. Uh, uh. The opponent's at 10 life. Is there any chance at all here? What can I do? I could return Flame of Anor. I'm supposed to play Murktide Regent first. This is going to get forced any day of the week. What's the point? I feel like it's just impossible to win this game. Okay, I'm actually going to concede here. Okay. Yeah, sorry for that one. Okay, I'm playing against her animator that will undoubtedly go into a more fair plan. I don't like my Force and Negations. I think Surgical is a good upgrade. They did show, Wastelands. Unclear about Scolding, but I think I can cut it. So I like all of my cards now, so I have to do a little bit of trimming. Should I cut a land in this matchup? That is probably okay. Cut like a basic Plains or basic island. 8, 11, 16 starting blue is pretty good. I think I can cut a land here. I don't think my mana base is going to be under huge attack. So maybe like cut a flame, cut a basic island or plains, I guess. Okay, let's try this. You may reanimate with Unmarked Grave, Sarah's Emissary. The Sarah's Emissary, I can only beat. I guess I should just play an 8/8 Murktide, then the card doesn't do anything. So it's just like randomly good that game, right? Archon would have been better. All right, this looks fine. Yeah, the Murktide arrived 1 turn too late, but I also did not play towards the Murktide being live on that turn, and then the Murktide being dead on the following turn, and ending vice versa. Well, not vice versa, but ending was also live the following turn. So I didn't do a good job there. Second Murktide I don't want. Let's say I had a Force already. I would have said yes to that card. Because then it's just my easy blue card. I think this deck could be a little bit weak to Murktide. It's a little bit sad they saw the Murktide last game, because it's a card they obviously didn't think about when, with the Emissary play and all. Thoughtseize is the best play possible here for the opponent. It looks like I can turn 3 Murktide here. That would be what I'm aiming for. Also unconfirmed if the opponent is a Daze deck. Okay, the Murktide's gone, so at least that confirms a little bit. Let's cast this Brainstorm because I play the card Tameo. These cards are abysmal, unfortunately. This is a chance for me to play off of basics if I put back Plateau Flooded Strand. Maybe that's fine. Play this. Pass. I'm pretty excited to see if my opponent's on like, oh yeah, here's like Voidwalkers, Baraghoifs, stuff like that, or they actually try and cast Unmarked Grave. They like the card. Here's another Thoughtseize. Yeah, that's unfortunate. If I had X-Ray Vision, I could have sapped the second one in hand. So let me go basic mountain here. Let me untap. I need some good stuff here. I'm getting picked apart, and I feel like my opponent's playing this Baraghoif. Island. Not the card you want to draw when you're already flooded. Let's see the Baraghoif, buddy. This is not a Baraghoif. This is a Tameo. Well, here's a Desperate Dress Down. So now I have 3 Plows and 3 Pyros in my deck. Which should I hold up? I think I should hold up the plow. Because if I draw the pyro, I can pyro later. Plow is like times, you know, what do you call it? Time. Yeah, I don't know. It's temporary, right? It only works in a certain time window. So now the biggest objective of my trainer is to find Tameo removal, which is not a good place to be in. I need to play the island here because I need to keep up options whether I find plow or white remove plow or blast. So let's say I brick and I find a preordain. I look like a fool, but you know that's magic. I find a second surgical, and that is, I think if you Googled now look like a fool, you would get a snapshot of this situation. Double surgical in hand against somebody who probably deviated. They were weak to Murktide. Okay, never mind. Archon in the bin. Dead Wasteland. I mean, so far so good. Problem is there's a Tameo on that side of the table. And I've been drawing, like, I've been Thoughtseize to Oblivion, and I keep drawing lands. The opponent likes their cards. That's not good for me. And here's the Baragoyf that I'm not going to say I knew about, but with the way the opponent played it, there are certainly some clues pointing there. Yeah, we got, we were supposed to win that game 1. This game we just got super cooked. All right. Okay, we are not going to be competitive this game. The opponent got us good with a sweet game 1 and a little bit of a fizzled game 2. That's what happens. Let's see if we can find a good one to end off the video. All right, match 3, Jeskai Wizards. Brutal loss in that. No, that was just, you know, that's what happens when you play a lot of Magic. Then sometimes you have great games, sometimes you have good games, sometimes you have less good games. That's just Magic, right? This hand looks great. I am in a spot where I don't mind if my first Tameo gets killed, which is always a great spot to be in. So let's see how much pressure this puts on our opponent. Hopefully a lot. Let's see. Fetch green mana. Turn 1. Oh, merfolk stuff. Okay, that's cool. So that's a 2/2 because the opponent has an island, I guess. 1 mana 2/2. Not bad, not bad. So now let's see. I should play land first because I don't want to get dazed. And then I should try and flip my Tameo here and see if I can protect the queen. Double plow sure is a good start. Maybe these Force of Wills are not good. What about the second Tameo then? It looks like this turn cycle, maybe it's like land force I put back. Is that crazy? I think it's decent. Land force. Then I'm a land away from casting Murktide, but I do have time. I think that's okay. So land force. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a weird game where I take some damage from the small things and I try and control the lords, essentially. Blue to delta, so I guess that confirms that it's straight blue-green. Let's see. I mean, there's going to be a lord cast here 9 out of 10 times. Let's see. I'm actually not familiar, like, if there's any super buff to, like, Lord of Atlantis or whatever. Okay, never mind. Here's Lord of Atlantis. Here is my plow. I will fetch basic planes to have, you know, super stable mana base. If the opponent has something here, I will Force a Will. Okay. The opponent can now attack Tameo for 1, which is, you know, that's great for me, right? And we kind of continue this play, or this plan rather. Nice Murktide. Yeah, let's plus Pass the turn. My plan is Cameo, right? So if I can keep plowing and forcing my way into... Ooh, I should have played Tameo here. Yeah, that was bad. Here's Lord of Atlantis. I should have played Tameo here. Oh, wait a minute. As long as you control another... Yeah, okay. Oh, no, never mind. No. It gets... Yeah, that was bad. Okay. If I had a Tameo in play, I would stop the beat down here. So now this is going to get exciting because I misplayed. I guess that's good for the video. So now let's get this up, and I will now slam Murktide Regent off of what? Basic Island? Or Volcanic Island. I could actually see Volcanic Island being decent here. Let me play around days in the process. So now I'm in a spot where I have to force a Will a Lord. I was at the Tameo in play. Then this would be at 7, and the game was over. But the game is not over. What is this? A Lord that does not let the opponent attack. I will accept that. Let's draw. Force Negation, probably a bad card. So let me play a blocker. Wait a minute. If the opponent plays a Lord, can eat 1, Tameo takes 2. So the thing is, this deck is probably a Cavern of Souls deck. So what if that comes off the top? I think it's better for me to actually have double force here. I don't know if that's true. But I think if the opponent's top card is not exactly Cavern of Souls, I think I'm beating my opponent here. Cavern would be brutal here. But I think I like, because now I'm playing around Force of Will. If the opponent has Force backup here, I look a little smarter. Let's pitch the Tameo. I think there's a chance second Murktide hits the field this game. So now they can't do anything. Because if they double attack, Tameo goes to 7, I eat a Merfolk, I draw my deck. So, okay, Merfolk, that's scary. Scolding, Wrath. Okay, at least I have a bunch of good cards. So these 6 are awesome. These 6 are bad. Now let's double check the rest. I think this is like a perfect sideboard plan. I mean, Dress Down, I don't know, can take away, you know, like the buff or the Island Walk and what have you. All of these cards are fine. I guess Spell Pierce is the odd card out here. But it's probably fine. Or is Force of Will better? Maybe Spell Pierce is just straight up dead against a lot of things. And Force of Will is, you know, live. Okay, so if we can flip an early Tameo, cast double Spud Removal, play a big dumb creature, and have Force of Will backup, we're winning. So let's just assume that that's not possible every time. Wrath of the Skies is a good, what do you call it, like fallback plan that even if things look grim, I still have something to brainstorm or preordain into. The awkward thing is, oh, I need to read this. Let's see. So why? Let me see. Why is this smart? It's a colorless land. Spend his mana. I wonder why this is a good land in the deck. Maybe it's just because the opponent doesn't have any color, like Spell Pierce or whatever. So it's just like a free tropical island. I'm not sure. Maybe they play Vile, right? So it still casts Vile. Okay. Let's see. I mean, that draw is amazing. Am I now supposed to open myself up to get wasted? I actually think that's okay. If I get wasted here, it looks like my opponent has to leave this Tameo in play, unless, you know, they end step Dismember, right? Okay, so Here's Cavern. So, you know, that's what happens. Our hand, we sideboarded because that is a magic card. Let's see if this is the 2-1 that draws a card. It's Lord of Atlantis. Okay. Let's see. Force of Will. The worst draw in the deck. So I guess playing these lands out confirm they're not a Daze deck, because then they would go higher on fetches, etc. So I probably need to flip the Tamiyo here to start absorbing damage and then make my game plan around finding Wrath of the Skies. Maybe this force is good down the road because of exactly that. Attack, play land, play Brainstorm, flip the Tamiyo, start absorbing damage. Yeah, that's the game plan. Because it looks like I don't have much breathing room to start cracking clues. Okay. Let's play that. Let's play Brainstorm. Yeah, these cards are not great, but I can, like, keep preordaining this turn. So what if I put back... Fetchland Trainer? Maybe? Fetchland Trainer? I think that's fine. Then this flips, plus it right away. Then I cast Preordain off of Volcanic Island, so I kind of have a wheel of duels going on here. Looking for that Wrath of the Skies, certainly not passing up on a plow. Pass, then hopefully next turn I can cast 2 removal spells, take up my Tamiyo, and kind of keep trucking. The turn after I then play Murktide. Ooh, no Lord. No Lord, so what is... I mean, there's probably some new merfolk I didn't know about, so let's just see what I was about to say what the doctor ordered. I also thought about saying what the cat dragged in, but that was not what I wanted to say. True Name Nemesis. That card is insane. So I certainly didn't think about that card. That card is awesome. So True Name Nemesis. It's a card that dies to a big Wrath of the Skies, not a small one. So you have some work to do here. I think this looks like good old plus... Well, maybe I should plow first. Plow the Lord. Is that good? If I plow the Lord... So if I kept my fetch lane, I could have regented this turn. That happens. This could be a crack clue situation. This could also be another Tamiyo situation. So if I Prismatic Ending, play Tamiyo, this goes to 5. The opponent would need 2 Lords to kill the Tamiyo. They probably can't. Okay, let's think. What if I go like this? I think this is solid, so I go Prismatic Ending. I go plus the Tamiyo. I then, before my turn, maybe even on before combat, I plow a Lord, and I kind of keep buying infinite time here. New Cavern. Yeah, I get it. Merfolks are uncounterable. That's why I only have 1 Force of Will in my deck. I do have Stern Scolding, though, so that is a little bit of a... Ooh, let's see here. So it's a Lord. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to plow it. That's the point. And now I'm going to respond here and plow the Hex Catcher, right? Yeah. Plow the Catcher. This resolves. I'm not hitting my land drops here, which is concerning. And now it's down to 2. Land drop is good here for me. Plus, before I forget, fetch basic island. Cast Murktide, I guess, and then Trainer. Does that make sense? First Murktide, then Trainer. Yeah, I think it does make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So chunky Murktide here. Here's Trainer. It's a little bit annoying. It's revealing, but I'm trying to find the card before I'm dead. So basically, if my opponent uses Tameo as a or if I use it as a punching bag, however, I don't know how you say that, but if Tameo's indeed a punching bag, maybe 3 attacks in the air is enough to kill my opponent. And that's a big maybe. Let's see what this is. This is actually just I mean, the opponent could have the Flash Lord, of course. But they don't, so Tameo's still in play. Soaking damage. Yeah, I mean, let's see. A white merfolk. Okay. That is, I guess, okay, so that makes sense with the mana base. So that will keep down the, well, until I draw that card like an absolute champ. Allowing that card, does that make sense? Tap another. I don't even know why this card is good. I guess it's a pretty good 1-drop. Yeah, that's probably just it. So this turn cycle is going to be what? That's going to be Plow the Tapper. Let's see. Plow the Tapper. Play Tameo as a blocker, I guess. Plow the Tapper. Play Tameo. Attack for 7. Get ready to clue, essentially. So that will kill the Tameo, but I have another one going, and I'm eating up damage, and that's in my interest when I'm cracking with Murktide. I don't foresee myself Force of Willing anything, but that card could be good later for the Wrath of the Skies plan. So now my opponent has to think about you know, losing the Lord of Atlantis here, but I don't have that tool, unfortunately, and I don't think it's worth searching for either. So Tameo hits the bin after having absorbed. Oh, wait a minute. No. The opponent goes for the life total now. Okay. Is this a second true name that made them make that move? No, it's not. Okay. Let's think about this card. Spells your opponents cast to target a merfolk you control is 2 more. Okay. Abilities is also 2 more. So this is like a merfolk Kira, I guess you can call it. Okay. Last card in hand is nothing, and the opponent does not play Surveil Land, they would have, you know, pounced. So let's draw a card here. So now, not sure about this from the opponent's side, because I can minus to get Plow here. And what? Yeah, I mean, I'll try and get Plow back. Throw the Merc. I can flip the new one here to start absorbing more damage. I think that's great. Let's think. So let's attack with Murktide and Tameo. The opponent has 1 card in hand. So now I want to brainstorm to flip the Tameo. Question is if I want to clue first, or do I want to prioritize having more mana post? Yeah, I think that's slightly better. So let's brainstorm first. Having more mana afterwards is valuable. I'll put back 2 basics. Flip the Tameo. Plus it. And now I have to remember this is a 3 mana Swords to Plowshares, right? Maybe I just play a lane and pass the turn now. Let's just see how much this is. Yeah, 3 mana Plow. Okay. So I should just let my opponent, you know, make the attacks, and then I can kind of react to that with my plow. Also consider if I'm simply just straight up winning the race. Thanks to the Murktide. That's probably going to be my move. Oh, they drew the Tapper, which is pretty... No, they didn't. Never mind. They drew that card. Never seen that card either. At the beginning of your end step, untap target Merfolk. So it's a Lord that also grows. So is this beating me over a 2-turn clock? Also, if I find another Murktide, it's lethal on the spot. I think the last card is bad. They haven't played it for ages. Let's see what you got, opponent. Let's see what you got. So, looks like they're looking to kill Tamiyo and attack me with the rest, essentially forcing the plow. I think I'm okay plowing the Lord of Atlantis. The opponent goes to 11. I'll have to remember to fetch. I'm not going to block here. Tamiyo goes to 1. I go to 13. I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think my opponent's last card is a blank because they could have played it a while ago but didn't. Let's crack this fetch before I draw the basic lands I don't want. Okay, so I have all my duels. I guess the triple white here could be playable. Dress Down. Dress Down is a cool card that lets me trade for Nemesis on the opponent's turn. Now, can I do better by... Maybe I should cast this card to see what's up. Also, if I have... Let's see. If I have Murktide Regent, I will grow it twice. It will attack for 10. So if I brainstorm into it, I win the game on the spot. I think I'm still doing fine here. So let's Trainer. Here's Flame of Anor, which is probably pretty good. Unclear if I need it. I don't even know if that makes sense. Probably not a smart thing to say. Okay, let's attack with Murktide Regent. Then I'm getting ready to dress down and have a good combat step next time, essentially. Let's pass the turn. It's up to the opponent to find something that deals with the Murktide. I think that's fair to say. Because they cannot kill me in one swing. And the Murktide is ready to go. Alright. We got there versus Merfolk thanks to just Tamiyo absorbing an insane amount of damage and threatening the game, right? So that's just... These cards are nightmare fuel to play against, but Tamiyo just, you know, makes a lot more things possible. Also, shout out to Murktide Regent for putting away games that would have been very, very complicated to win without it. So, yeah, all in all, I liked revisiting Jeskai Wizards. I think it's very, very competitive. We got a lot of good games off today. It's a little bit of a nun game, but, you know, for every nun game, there's going to be, you know, you drawing the nuts, like having fast Tamiyos and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, very, very competitive deck. Land pass, react, grind out the opponent, win on turn 8. Like, what's not to like? Speaking of liking, if you like what you see over here, I'm offering members-only videos here on YouTube. I'm offering videos ahead of time. Metagame Monday After Dark is probably my favorite, but I also had some insane gameplay videos recently, and I have some sweet ones in the chamber as well. I'm going to set up some cool versus videos with, you know, Eureka. We're going to be playing Combo versus Fair. We're going to be having a video where he's trying to teach me to play Doomsday, and all of that stuff is going to be member exclusive. So yeah, I'm trying to grow over here, and if you like what you see, go ahead and give me your subscription. That would be terribly awesome. With all of that being said, I highly enjoy playing Magic here on the channel, so make sure to check back, especially this week, right? Tundra week, so lots of more of Tamiyo and plowing and grinding out the opposition. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you back next time for some more sweet, sweet Legacy action.